don't find myself particularly interesting.
Welcome back to the Media Circus, the game show about the news game. And this week, Australia struck a great blow for progress when, for the first time ever at the Melbourne Cup, a woman pushed a policeman into a bush. She was just wonderful. And Alan Jones finally revealed what he thinks about his job in radio.
I hate it, and I'm no good at it. I have to go.
And joining us tonight on the Media Circus are the Chaser's Andrew Hansen. From the Story Club podcast, Ben Jenkins. And hardcore ABC foreign correspondent and author of Go-Go Mama, Sally Sarah. And they're up against comedian and Tony Jones's Q&A stuntman, Tom Ballard. Check out presenter and author of Almost Sincerely, Zoe Norton-Lodge. And a very special international guest tonight. I'll let a more competent host introduce him.
My guest tonight, he is a heart surgeon who also hosts a satirical news program in Egypt called Al Barnameg.
Yes. Al Barnameg was first filmed in Bassem's laundry for YouTube and went on to be the most watched TV show in the Middle East before Bassem was forced off air. Please welcome Dr. Bassem Youssef. Bassem, welcome to the Media Circus. Now, you've won the International Press Freedom Award. How have you been finding the media here in Australia?
Oh, I love it. First of all, I learned that some of your prime ministers might lose their job because they eat an onion. And you make like a big fuss about stuff that we find it like everyday life. I mean, yesterday I found like a headline. It was like, tragedy somewhere leaving one dead.
That wouldn't get to air any.
For us, it's just like, that's Tuesday. It's like,
yes, Chaz?
It's true, Craig. We have a very different definition for what qualifies as news in this country.
In the darkness at Penrith train station, the race is on. Who will get a part? Who will be too late?
Very frustrating.
9 News tonight at 6.
It's a big story.
who will get a part?
Look, because Sally, you're no stranger to dangerous journalism. You having, of course, been a foreign correspondent for years. You've covered everything from the Mumbai terrorist attacks to the war in Afghanistan, and you're also a landline host. I presume this was a landline story here?
As we started filming, police fired more shots into the air.
If you look through the... Yeah, that was a CWA meeting.
Yeah. Where was that? That was in Kabul, wasn't it?
That was in Kabul, yeah. So often for the journalists there, the most dangerous thing was if the army was controlling the situation, if the police would arrive, they'd then shoot against each other.
So that's the army shooting at the police?
Yes.
Right.
It's good to keep it in-house.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now to the teams this week. Tom, Zoe and Bassem, you are Team Australia. And Andrew, Ben and Sally, you're the only thing that can stop Australia, so you're Team Melbourne Cup. All right, take that. And as always, the Media Circus is under the watchful eye of our fact-checker, Chesley Chidello.
Thanks, Craig. And there was a lot of misinformation this year during the Melbourne Cup, Craig, but one man shone above the pack, Peter Reith.
Melbourne Cup tip, Peter Reith.
Oh, I got no idea. Probably a horse.
Thank you, Chaz. And now let's play the news game.
Stitch Up.
First up, of course, it's Stitch Up. Both teams play. Can you identify the 4 news stories that we have stitched together this week? Here's your Stitch Up.
Tony Abbott's biggest embarrassment.
Immigration Minister Peter Dutton has
agreed to a dance challenge, showing off moves that persuaded a group of teenagers
To have a second child.
All right, Team Melbourne Cup, what was the first story?
Abbott's biggest embarrassment, I mean, if it's this week, would it not be the honours, but Knights and Dames?
Knights and Dames, yes. Scrapped. That is right, that's right. Malcolm Turnbull has scrapped Tony Abbott's Knights and Dames honours systems, and here is how the ABC actually covered it.
I believe this is an important grace note in our national life.
Yes, the ABC regrets hiring the guy from Funniest Home Videos to do the news. Team Australia, your turn. What was the second story?
Well, you'd be all across Peter Dutton. OK, no, it's fine.
He would have let you into the country, wouldn't he? What did he do?
He's,
the immigration guy?
Yes.
What did he do?
Well, what he did is, I think he's decided to finally learn a little bit about refugees. And he's gone to Jordan.
He's gone to Jordan to actually check out the camps.
To a big refugee camp to meet them.
Let's see.
Immigration Minister Peter Dutton has made a confronting visit to a refugee camp in Jordan.
Yes, Peter Dutton has visited a refugee camp and welcomed the first 4 families under our Syrian resettlement program. The refugees were thrilled to be resettled and the kids were just thrilled to meet Mr Potato Head. All right, Team Melbourne Cup, your turn again. What was the third story? Here's a recap.
Agreed to a dance challenge, showing off moves that persuaded a group of teenagers to...
What's the dancing story?
I actually would not be surprised if Leland Chin is talking about herself there.
Dance challenge.
Yeah.
This was a police officer in the States who was called in to break up a tense situation and got challenged to a dance-off and responded.
That is right. A policewoman in America has stopped a group of teenagers from fighting by agreeing to a dance contest.
Called to a disturbance involving a group of teenagers. One of the youngsters said they'd leave the area if the officer danced the whip nay-nay. She duly obliged.
Rather pleasing. Funnily enough, though, when Bill Shorten dances, it also causes a riot. Oh, Bill.
Bill Shorten is everybody's uncle at a 21st.
All right, Team Australia, what was the final story?
China.
China?
China.
What about China?
I think they had like they wanted to end the one-child policy thing, right?
That is right. After almost 40 years, China has relaxed its one-child policy. Everyone there is an only child. That's why they haven't learned to share the South China Sea yet. At the end of that round, the winner is Team Australia. Yeah! Which means, Chaz, have you got a reward for them?
I do, Craig. It's another behind-the-scenes look at a news station.
Behind the scenes at the auction house.
OK, Max, so get ready for your live cross. The newsreader will ask you a question, and then all you need to do is talk to the camera as if it's perfectly natural.
Max Williamson is the head of sporting memorabilia from Moss Green, and he joins us now live from Melbourne.
You're on.
Max, good morning to you. These are really highly sought after.
OK, that's not quite what we're after, Max. You might need to look at the camera. At the camera.
Next to me is...
It's coming towards you, Max, so talk to the camera, not to the jacket.
37 season. You can see the wire embroidered.
OK, that was quite good, but we might need you to lift the energy a little. After we zoom back out, could you talk to the camera, please?
Picture of Bradman tossing the coin for the first time as captain.
Yeah, OK, I don't think you're quite getting it, Max. The camera is the large object with the lens. It's very, very close to you. If you could
see...
Wow.
Max! Just... Oh, God, I can't believe we cast this guy to host The Voice.
News School, Lesson 98. If you're doing a report about the Pope, bear in mind the Pope is not African. Channel 7, show me the Pope, please.
His Holiness made history.
Good work. The Pope in your report is not African. ABC.
The first Pope.
Good. You correctly showed an Argentinian Pope, which makes sense because the Pope is from Argentina. Now, SBS, you should be good at this.
The Pontiff said the two nations could serve as an example to the rest of the world. Sorry about that.
Sorry is not good enough, SBS. The Pope is not African, and there certainly aren't 3 of him. What an unholy trinity!
And on the news board this week, we have the President of China, Xi Jinping. This symbol here, one of the World Cup winning All Blacks, Sonny Bill Williams. Melbourne Cup winning jockey Michelle Payne. Crazy rich white man Donald Trump, and a dying knight. All right, teams taking a turn to pick a subject, but anyone can answer the question by buzzing in. All right, Team Melbourne Cup, what's your pick of the board?
Melbourne Cup.
Melbourne Cup.
All right.
All right. You've picked Michelle Payne, the first female jockey to win a Melbourne Cup, and she made quite an impression in her post-win speech.
It's such a chauvinistic sport. I know some of the owners were keen to kick me off. Just want to say to everyone else can get stuffed because they think women aren't strong enough, but we just beat the world.
It's an Aussie speech. Get stuffed.
I love that.
Yes, Jazz.
Craig, that was a huge achievement from Michelle, but I think Gay Waterhouse might have taken the wrong lesson from it.
It just shows in Australia anyone can own a racehorse.
Well, look, some speeches made less of an impression on Cup Day, and that was the speeches by politicians. One of them tried to score a political point by linking the political issue to the Melbourne Cup. Can you guess the issue they were trying to talk about and how they linked it to the Melbourne Cup?
Something about housing affordability, and that if only everyone in Australia was a jockey, then we could all fit into the available houses more easily.
Yes, Bassam.
Some MP, Andrew something, did something about the that you have some taxes.
Okay, if he gets a point for that, I'm leaving.
It's about like taxes, and they're linking it to horses, and it's about like the Australian version of your VAT.
Actually, yes, Bassam did get it right. Yes. It was Andrew Lee, and here is the wonderful statement he made on Melbourne Cup Day.
Frankly, we know that there's only one thing that Malcolm Turnbull's backing today, and that's a rise in the GST. The GST, it increases the cost of bets.
All right, Team Australia, what's your pick of the board?
What about the orange gentleman with the big old mouth? Mr. Trump.
You've picked Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, I'm presuming. In a Republican candidates debate, Trump explained his plan to stop illegal immigration by building a wall between Mexico and America.
We can do a wall. We're going to have a big, fat, beautiful door right in the middle of the wall. We're going to have people come in, but they're coming in legally.
A door that's big and fat, I see he's making it to American specifications already. Look, but Trump isn't the only one advancing bold solutions today. In our next questions, I'm going to give you a big problem that's been mentioned in the news, and can you tell me the bold solutions suggested by someone in the media? First up, China has too many unmarried men, with estimates they'll have 30 million bachelors by 2020. What bold solution did a professor recently propose to solve this problem?
Getting children in sweatshops to make more wives.
It's kind of taking the concept of ride-sharing to a whole new level.
He is right. The answer is a professor of economics proposed men in China would share wives. Yeah. All right, next up, we've had a near miss over the weekend when an asteroid came perilously close to Earth. So if it happens again, what bold solution is NASA proposing to stop an asteroid destroying the planet?
Taking a leaf out of Abbott's book, Towbacks. Just nuts.
Sorry.
There's a system.
Yes, Bassam.
Sending Bruce Willis.
Sending Bruce Willis? Yes, Sally.
So actually, the federal government have said that it will decide which asteroids come to the planet and the manner in which they come.
Yes, NASA is planning to use nukes to stop an asteroid, which is actually the plot of the Bruce Willis movie Armageddon.
Yeah, wow.
It'd be more effective if they just played Armageddon on a big screen and the meteors would turn around rather than come in. But look, as CNN shows us, it's a very safe plan.
It could be fraught with a lot of uncertainty. You might see one headed toward the United States, blow it up in space or blow up something near it to nudge it, and just nudge it over into France.
No asteroid and no France. Americans are going to love this time. All right, Team Melbourne Cup, what's your pick of the board?
What do you reckon?
Can we? What are the night? Can we want to do some nights?
Sure. Yeah.
Knights and Dames. OK, you've chosen the Dying Night to honour the end of Tony Abbott's reintroduction of Knights and Dames in Australia. Look, it was a short-lived policy, but just how short was it compared to other things with short lifespans? OK, teams. Did Tony Abbott's Knights and Dames policy last longer than the average lifespan of the common house mouse Mus musculus?
Mice don't live too long.
My mice never lived too long, but I always thought that was just neglect.
Yeah. It's a similar thing. You got bored of them after a week and we flushed the Knights and Dames policy down in the toilet.
I think Malcolm Turnbull did leave out little cheese and a trap for Tony.
Yeah.
Well, how long did Knights and Dames last?
Well, what was it, a year or two or something?
I think the mouse disappeared.
The mouse is short. That is actually correct, yes. Yeah. Knights and Dames policy outlived the common house mouse by around 50 days.
And we've all been criticising it, but look at that.
Yeah,
wonderful achievement. Wonderful achievement.
Poor Republican mouse never got to see his dream come true.
All right, next up, after coming to government, Abbott's unimplemented captain's call of the paid parental leave scheme was official government policy for quite a while. But did it last longer than the gestation period of an elephant?
I'm sorry, that picture is messed up.
Which one?
Tony Abbott bashing a baby.
That is a bit wrong.
Did he do that after eating the onion?
Do Egyptian politicians kiss babies?
Well, humans do. I mean, yes.
I think Egyptians just send babies down the river, don't you? Oh, come on! Too soon for Bible jokes? Really?
All right. What lasts longer, paper to leave or elephant's
I
gestation
know elephant
period?
gestation period is quite long.
It's long. Let's choose the elephants. It's longer, right?
Okay, elephants longer.
Yeah.
Elephants, yes, that's right. The elephant's gestation period of 22 months is longer than the pay parental leave scheme, so it takes longer to make an actual elephant than to get rid of a white elephant. But look, let's move on from this because I don't like talking about the elephant in the womb. All right, Team Melbourne Cup, what's your pick of the board?
We would go with the Chinese president, I think.
Chinese president, you've picked President Xi Jinping, and this week China released their new propaganda video. Let's have a look.
You want to know what China's gonna do? Best pay attention to the Shizanu.
What?
The Shizanu.
So, panel, judging from that video, what is China going to do?
All the acid.
I'm going to execute those musicians.
You're all wrong. The Shishanu is China's 13th five-year plan. As for what it will do, here's an explanation.
First there's research, views collected, then discussion and views projected. Reports get written and passed around. Then there's actually more research.
Say what you will about that, though, but it's a lot better than Australia's last five-year plan.
If you want to know what Australia's gonna do, we'll change the egg every year or two. Every year or two. Every year or two.
How often?
Every year or two.
All right, at the end of that round, the winner is Team Australia. Oh, what's their award, Chaz?
Craig, it might not be as catchy as Shisanu, but I've got another Chinese video as a reward. This time, it's international students offering their completely objective and uncoerced opinions about President Xi Jinping.
Very humble leader.
Of our Chinese leader.
Wise and resolute president.
His face was a little bit cute. Like everybody looks at him and they just like him.
He's not just a leader, but he's like part of your family.
Like uncle.
Like big brother, or maybe I can say like father.
Handsome. Yeah, he's super charismatic.
Always smile in the public.
I don't even know who that is.
Don't know.
I don't really know who he is.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Bill Shorten's a great world leader.
He's very popular with the Australian people.
He is a wonderful speaker. I think one day his speeches will be taught in schools.
He's the funniest person I know.
He's the John F. Kennedy of Australia.
He's very handsome, like an older Leonardo DiCaprio.
I wish he was my father and would kiss me goodnight and say he was proud of his son.
I think he would be a great Prime Minister one day, probably the best ever.
Welcome to Australia.
Now, Basson, we don't often have an international guest here, so can we please make him feel very welcome to our country, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. But hang on. But I have noticed that you are of Middle Eastern appearance, so it means you've been randomly selected for routine questioning, yes. This is how we really welcome people from the Middle East. Okay, come on in, Bassem. This is just standard routine questioning. This is how we welcome people from the Middle East to our country.
I'm used to that.
You are all used to this? All right, take all your time you need because the government can detain you for up to 2 weeks without charging you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so answering these questions about Australia for your team, okay, they're all things that every Aussie should know. And up against you, Bassem from Team Melbourne Cup is, well, the only one with any brains, Sally Sara. All right, Sally, if you don't get these right, of course, you're punted from the country and lose your citizenship. Let's go. The first question is, which one of the following is not true of an Australian Prime Minister? A, they once went swimming and never came back. B, they were found wandering in a Memphis hotel with no trousers on. C, they broke the world record time for drinking a yard of beer. Or D, they were posthumously revealed to be a serial killer. Which one of those is not true?
Well, first of all, I know that half of Australians go and get eaten by sharks. So you must have lost one prime minister. So I would go that I don't think that you had a serial killer. That would be a shame.
D
right?
is your answer. What about you, sir?
D, but not yet.
D, but not yet.
Yeah, Kevin hasn't died yet.
Yeah. The answer is D. As far as we know, no Prime Minister has been a serial killer, but a federal MP, Thomas Lay, was. He was convicted of 1 murder and linked to 3 other killings of political opponents. But it was OK because he was the State Minister for Justice. Does that make you feel at home there, Basham? All right, Basham, time now to learn about Australia's love of the arts. Which of the following books was not banned in Australia? A, the sex education book Where Did I Come From? B, James Joyce's Ulysses? J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye? Or The Spy Who Loved Me? Which one was not banned in Australia?
Well, The Spy Who Loved Me is not banned, I guess, because... Or maybe it was banned because you're jealous because you only had 1 James Bond.
Oh, yes, we did. What's his name? Lazenby.
Lazenby, yeah.
He only did 1 episode.
And it was lousy.
What do you reckon?
I'm still scarred that my mum was a sex education educator, so we had Where Did I Come From at home. I know that definitely wasn't banned.
So that's you think that was the one that wasn't banned? Where Did I Come From?
Wasn't banned, yeah, because, yeah, the trauma's still there.
The trauma's there. Sally is right, actually. That is the one that was not banned. The sex education book, Where Did I Come From? And once you've finished reading that, you can also read the Border Force version. Go back to where you come from. OK, Bassam, our next question is about our capital, Canberra. Canberra is a great name that was chosen by a competition, but which of the following names was not suggested for our nation's capital? A, Climax, B, Thirstyville, C, Batmania, or D, Aryan City?
Wow.
Aryan City.
Wow. You guys are so screwed up. So, all right, so you have the sex educational ban, so I'm sure that Climax was on the list.
Can you imagine going to the capital, Climax?
Thirstyville, is it dry out there?
Not when the politicians are in town, it's not.
I would go with good faith and say Aryan City.
Aryan City was not named.
How's that good faith?
I am
He wasn't
assuming that you're not racist yet.
First mistake.
Yeah. You have not been in Australia long enough. Sally, what do you think wasn't one of the names suggested for our nation's capital?
They're all disturbing. Climax in particular. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
After an election, it'd be like, Tony Abbott reached climax today. No.
Yeah, no.
I wish they'd go
I just hope that Climax wasn't, so I'm going to go with A.
No, actually, you're both wrong. It was Batmania. Climax, Thirstyville and Aryan City were all suggested as names for our national capital. Sadly, they weren't chosen. Batmania was considered as a name for Melbourne in honour of the city's founder, Sir John Batman, but instead they decided to name the city after Jason Bourne's little-known brother, Mel. Yes, Chaz.
To be fair, Craig, those names are all actually part of a national competition. You know, like New Zealand just had for their flag, where people suggest things as part of a competition, and they don't always yield the best results.
And later, could this really be New Zealand's new flag? Or maybe this.
Let's be fair.
Congratulations, Bassam. You've passed the test. I think you got enough right to stay here. Well done. Chaz, have you got a reward for the teams?
I do, Craig. It's Michael Bay's epic war movie, Pearl Harbor, as performed by eyewitnesses from the news.
Boom!
Bang, 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 bang.
Bang, 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 bang.
Bang, 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 bang.
Big boom, boom.
Like a big boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom! You know, like this.
Australia, it's so good.
If you're in any doubt that Australia is good, ask the news.
Hollywood's hottest movie makers are so obsessed with Australia. No surprise, it's just so good down here.
Yes, it doesn't get better than this Aussie pit. Every little bit of Australia has something to be proud of. Melbourne is so proud of its AFL, people even use footballs as microphones.
Very proud of our industry, the way it's come together.
Melbourne's also proud of its unaffordable housing.
Soaring Melbourne house prices set to knock Sydney off its perch.
I'm so proud that I can't afford to live here.
Sydney is proud of its Olympics from 15 years ago.
While Rio has been branded as a unique Olympic experience, it has copied one of Sydney's success stories, beach volleyball.
Only Sydney could have thought of playing beach volleyball on a beach. Even specific suburbs of Sydney have pop stars in a frenzy.
We're Justice Crew and we love Blacktown.
Wild horses couldn't drag Justice Crew away from Blacktown.
If the airport wasn't so far away, we'd be living here.
What a ringing endorsement. Queensland is proud of its glorious beaches. The only beaches on Earth where you can eat something.
If sun, sand and surf aren't enough of an attraction to Gold Coast beaches, soon you'll be able to add food to the mix.
I wish we'd thought of food. All I've got is this beach volleyball.
Queensland is also proud of its dumb luck.
We live in the luckiest state in Australia for winning lotto. Queensland is also home to the city and suburb with the most major winners.
I could almost afford a house in Melbourne. Queenslander! Queenslander!
Dear God. Meanwhile, South Australia is fiercely proud of its time zone.
There is fierce debate in South Australia over proposed changes to the state's time zone.
What's wrong with the eastern states aligning to us?
But that's not enough.
The entire world will now run on Adelaide time.
But wherever you live, you're different, which is why our current affair files completely different reports for each city.
Why do you still pay more because you live in Melbourne? Why do you still pay more because you live in Sydney? Because you live in Brisbane? Because you live in Perth? Our Brisbane Consumer Investigation.
And why Tracy Grimshaw rushes to present the show from 4 different cities every day. ACA even exposes your local hoons.
Sydney's dumbest hoonists.
But what makes these hoons so dumb?
I believe that ACA runs local stories. So do I. Us too.
Australia, it's so good.
I've been parochial.
Yesterday's news.
For yesterday's news, we're looking at news reports from the 5th of November in history. And as usual, there's plenty of old news to choose from, like on the 5th of November 1988.
Actually, next to nothing happened here today.
Maybe not then. Let's get into yesterday's news questions. They're open to all players, so buzz in if you know the answer to the question. This question's from the 5th of November 1992 and a debate in the Senate. Why was this said during a parliamentary debate?
Harlots, sleazebags, frauds, cheats, blackguards, pigs, mugs.
That was just a roll call of everyone in cabinet.
Yeah.
It was the opening of the new press gallery in Canberra.
That was actually John Howard's first draft of an apology to the stolen generation.
I think that this might be, given the colourful language and time period, I feel like this is Keating related.
Let's have a look. That was Liberal Party Senator Robert Hill, who in 1992 was the leader of the opposition in the Senate, and he was recounting just a few of the insults that then Prime Minister Paul Keating used in Parliament, and they were recounted after Keating added another famous insult about the Senate to his list.
Unrepresentative swill over there.
Unrepresentative swill. See, you still want democracy, do you, Bassett?
It's more predictable where we come from.
Yeah, exactly. Right, OK, next up, complete this sentence from the news on this day.
An activist and rock musician Peter Garrett says he doesn't want
Political longevity.
Yes, Andrew.
Eyebrows. To sleep while our beds are burning. Off.
Let's see.
An activist and rock musician Peter Garrett says he doesn't want a political career.
And he got his wish.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of that round, the winner is Team Melbourne Cup.
Yes.
Congratulations. Finally! Shazzy, what's their award?
It's how Mark Vaile tried to appeal to the kids in the 2004 election, plus how I'd like to imagine John Howard reacted to it.
Totally radical. For Mark Vaile, the election campaign's become an opportunity to look like an overgrown escapee from Summer Heights High.
Here at the Media Circus, we love puns, but look, not every story is suitable for them. For example, if your report is about
how 4 teenagers fell out of this Ferris wheel.
The pun wheel bad is wheelie bad. Don't do that. But look, this is much safer ground. I'll give you some non-Ferris wheel-based topics from the news, and you try to guess what punishing wordplay reporters came up with until your pun, OK? You ready? Your first story is a bird show being held during National Bird Week.
Birds in a show? That's a bit of ostrich.
The response to the bird show was Falcon Incredible.
One of the principal sponsors was the mineral water Avian. Wheel bad.
Let's see what Channel 9 Melbourne came up with.
A very special group of visitors, or should I say aviary special group of visitors, swooped on Fed Square. Experts are asking hawk-eyed enthusiasts, and it's cheap to help out too. People can also tweet their observations.
OK, next up a story about an Adelaide suburb where gnomes are mysteriously appearing on top of buildings.
Someone called Gnomeland Security.
They could be found no more.
Actually, they had to call in Sherlock gnomes.
It was revealed that the gnomes were guarding the building.
Actually, I think it might be a religious thing, but I'm not sure which denomination.
Well, good.
Look, I was interested to see how you guys went with that, because the actual story just made the same pun over and over again.
Nobody knows. Everyone in Blackwood knows what's happening, but no one really knows what's going on.
We know nothing.
Others claim to gnome a bit, but some seem to gnome a lot. They at least gnome what's going on.
That was shit.
Yeah.
What a shit news that was.
All right, finally tonight, a report about a cow that jumped off a truck in Russia led to an outbreak of pandemonium on Sunrise. Let's see if you can top them.
That's bullshit.
It must have been a big news day in the USSR.
That cow should have been put in more securely.
The police were unsure whether the event was extremely rare, medium rare, or...
I think the driver had to beef up security.
Wow, good story. I'm so sorry.
Zoe is having a stroke.
They just broke pandemonium. OK, look, you did a very good job there, but make yourself comfortable, because for this story, Sunrise became Punrise.
Now, I don't know if you heard us earlier, but we showed you this vision of a cow hoofing it off a truck in the Frisian Russian cold. I mean, we were milking this story all morning, but we want to take stock of all the puns.
Because you wouldn't want a calf injury. That truck was really moving. This is utterly ridiculous. Let's move on.
Well done, Sunrise, yes.
Very good.
And well done, everyone here. But at the end of that round, there can only be one winner, and the winner tonight is Team Australia. Thank you for watching. Join us next week on the Media Circus.